Why is consistent, sustainable progress so damn hard for most people? Well, it's exactly what we're going to get into. So, first off, the first question that you have to ask yourself when you are thinking about why you're not seeing progress, because all this is a lot of like hard fucking questions that you have to ask yourself. And you can't be scared of that. It's always the hard conversations that growth comes out of, that produces growth. It's the difficult conversations. It's not, oh, you're doing a great job, sweetie. Keep it up. No, it's like, hey, bro, get your fucking shit together and let's go. So, first off, I want you to ask yourself, how committed are you to getting to your goals? And if it's anything less than a 10, then honestly just turn the video off. If it's less than a 10, if you don't want it bad enough, then you're not going to get there. Average commitment leads to average results. Like, I want you to think about it this way. Even if you say that you are 10 out of 10 committed right now, I want you to think about if somebody else in your life was to review that as well. If somebody came and watched your day-to-day activities, how committed would they say you are? Would they say a 5, a 6, or would they say a 10 like you said? Because I promise you, like, there is such a big gap in commitment wise. Like, think about it this way. Somebody that's 85% committed, somebody that's 80% committed versus somebody that's 95% committed. The person that's 95% committed is always going to see more. And to give you like a numerical thing, let's say two people have the same goals and they work on those goals for a whole year. Let's just say it's weight loss. You know, they want to lose a certain amount of weight, or it could be the other way. You know, if you're skinny, you want to gain a certain amount of weight. Let's say the person that is not fully committed is 200 calories less, or I guess over, brain fart. Okay, so let's say, if they're cutting, the person that's not as committed is their calories are 200 too high. If it's the other way, if they're bulking, they're 200 calories too light. The person who is committed would see about a 20-pound difference throughout the year. A 20-pound difference. That's how much that just little bit of commitment change from a day-to-day activity adds up over the year. So you have to think about that. Ask if you're really committed. And now if you think that you are, I also want you to think about other aspects. Are you the week marathoner or whatever, the weekend warrior, where Monday through Friday you're just solid as hell, and then the weekend comes and you can't stay on track because you can't say no to going out, you can't say no to a meal just while you're working on your goals? Like, I'm not saying forever, but if you've got 3 months and you want to cut down before summer and you want to be able to drink but you want to be lean, well, this might be the time to take out the drinking for a little bit so that you can get to where you want to be in time to do that during the summer. Just a thought. Also too, like, your training, are you actually like pushing to failure or close to failure? Are you actually training as hard as you think you are? Because I promise you, I will have people say like, oh yeah, I'm training to failure, or I'm training close to failure. 1 hour is best, I guess, based on the science. So we'll say like one rep in reserve. Are you actually training that hard? Because I'll have people tell me that they are, and then I'll see them train or see a video and they're clearly have like at least 3 or 4 more reps. So you have to be able to tolerate more pain. You have to actually be training as hard as you think you are. Your recovery debt, are you getting enough sleep? Because the sleep debt is so real where it just adds up. You know, if you miss 2 hours today, then you miss 2 hours tomorrow, now you're in sleep debt 4 hours. Just sleeping an extra hour or something one day is not going to make up for that. You might feel a little bit better because your sleep debt went up, but you're never going to get out of it if you don't start balancing that out. If you don't start getting consistent with your sleep schedule. Also too, like managing your stress. Why are we so stressed out all the time, guys? Why are we letting every little thing get to us? I have hard days for sure, but I've gotten so much better at just brushing that shit off. Like I don't care what it is, you know, flat tire, wake up and bank accounts overdrawn or something. Brush it off, move on with the day. Focus on what you can focus on. Because I promise sitting there and worrying about it is not fixing the problem. Taking action on something to fix the problem can fix the problem, but worrying, stressing, overanalyzing is not fixing any problem. And then, yeah, so just managing your stress, trying to take some stressors out of your life, actually like give yourself some rest time and be able to recover. I mean, you know, going back to the whole training hard, like if you're training hard, you have to prioritize recovery or you're just gonna keep doing a shit ton of trash volume with little to no results because you're not training hard enough and then you're also not recovering. So just keep that in mind as well. I know I had something else that I was thinking of that was on my mind before I started hitting record. But, and okay, we can go into meals. This isn't even what I was thinking about, but just thinking about that, like, how consistent are you on your meals? I know people don't want to track. I get it. You can absolutely make progress without tracking, for sure. But you're going to make better progress if you just track your meals. It literally takes an extra 30 seconds every time I eat a meal. 30 seconds for me to get on my phone, boom this, boom this, boom this, done. Know what you're putting in your body. It helps so much. So I want you to think about how committed you are, and then I want to challenge you too. This, you know, going through this week, I was gonna say start next week, but I hate when people, you know, push stuff to next week. Sorry, Scrappy. He likes being covered up anyway. So what I want you to do is I challenge you to either increase your step count by 1,000 a day, increase your sleep by 30 minutes each day. What else would be a good one? Track all your meals. And maybe a fourth option. I mean, I could go into the RIR or the, you know, pushing yourself to failure, but you just need to do that anyway. So let's aim for those 3 things. I want you, and you don't have to do all of them. Pick one, start this week, get that taken care of. So either adding 1,000 steps, adding an extra half hour of sleep, or tracking your meals. Do one this week, do one the following week, continuing to do the first one. Add in the third one in week 3, continuing to do the other 2, and just see how your progress progresses. See how much better you feel. But I'll leave you guys at that. Yeah, and I will see you in the next one.